Okay, that was quite a moment, and I gotta say I'm pretty happy that it happened at that part of the track. A lot of other parts of the track that really wouldn't have been as forgiving as that. Now, we've come back and had a look at the footage and had a look at what happened to the car, and being away from the track and actually being able to take a closer look at what happened, we reckon we know what the go is. So, as you can see here, this is our new transmission cooler, and I mean, I got to be quite honest, I think I just didn't do the hose clamps up tight enough back at the gearbox end, rushing to get to the track. But anyway, look, no damage, no harm, but we do think now that the oil line came off first, followed by the car exploding the water pump. Now, what we did is we knew that the original water pump that we had, which we'd sort of jimmied together as quick as we could, had failed, and it was broken in the accident, and we rigged it up just enough to be able to get through. Now, knowing that we blew the oil line first, when we looked at the footage from the camera, we could hear the car like a kettle percolating. Then this aftermarket water pump failed. So we're not really sure whether the aftermarket water pump failed because it's crap or it failed because the car was too hot. I don't think it's probably the best. It was a stopgap. We ordered a genuine part, and then we were told the genuine part wouldn't arrive in time. So we quickly jumped on eBay and got this. Obviously that was a bit of a disappointment, but anyway, there we go. We now have another one which is the same as this one and is in behind our new radiator scoop. Now I'm going to switch over to Mitch, and Mitch will run you through what we've decided to do to try and combat the overheating.
To combat any chance of the car overheating, we built this scoop. When the car's travelling, the air will flow over and there'll be a low pressure zone here, which will draw the air out from the radiator, keeping the radiator cooler.
Just a quick video on the phone. I've cut these. I've cut a big hole in the bonnet, and I've cut these. They're going to go in here, front of the radiator, and over here, just bent up a piece of aluminium. Yeah, just to evacuate the air, just to get a bit better cooling without having to worry about fans. I've always wanted to do it, so what the heck, we're doing it.
When we were designing the scoop, we needed to make sure that there was enough clearance. We did this by placing a column of plasticine, closing the bonnet and finding out how much the plasticine had changed, and therefore, the height that we needed. All tacked together now and in position, but it's not quite right yet. We have to cut some reinforcement out of the bonnet so we have enough space to fit it in. Here you can see directly after we made the scoop fit. And here is the final product. Over to Dad.
Okay, so the other thing that I forgot to mention before is after we got back from the track, we used our download device here to download what had happened, also to see if we could find anything. And what we found is that an error code came up for transmission losing oil pressure, and that occurred at 142 kilometers an hour. So again, just thankful it happened on the track where it did. Now, I haven't really had a chance to explain to anybody what the car's like to drive, and I thought you might like to know. So it's not, I always thought paddle shift would be easy. It's not, actually. So one of the things that I was advised to do, and I'm really glad that James from Oldvox told me this, is that they'd had a professional driver driving one of their cars with a DSG gearbox, and he had explained that what he liked to do is have the car in sport mode, where it will change up gears automatically, which is much faster than doing it with a paddle. But he likes to use the paddle shift on the way down through the gearbox to give some form of engine brake. I've tried all of it, and I find this one to be the best. So we tried drive, and what happens in drive is the car goes down the road no problem and changes up through the gears, and you back off the accelerator and it goes straight to 7th. I go through the corner, and then as I accelerate, it drops back to the gear that it wants to, and that's really a weird feeling, and anyone that's driven an auto knows exactly what that feels like, except, you know, we're on a racetrack, so we don't want that. So then I tried manual mode, and trying to change up through the gears sometimes when you're in a corner and all this kind of thing, it was just a little bit too hard, and it wasn't as quick as letting the computer do it itself. So I found exactly what James had told me the best thing to do is having it in sport mode, and you're only using the paddle shift to go down through the gearbox. The only issue I have other than that is that the dash has such a small number to tell me what gear I'm in, and the diesel engine just pulls whatever gear it's in, it just pulls anyway. It's always hard to know what gear you're in. So sometimes I'll be coming out of a corner in 3rd, other times I'll be coming out in 4th, and it's hard to know. So I'm going to have to get some kind of tablet or something to put up here and connect it through the computer and have a larger number so I can see what gear I'm in. I think that will help me. But it's a lot of fun to drive. I'm really enjoying driving it, but it's difficult to drive. It's hard to explain. And every other car I've driven, as the RPM goes up, the power goes up. This is exactly the opposite. As the RPM goes up, the power or torque or the feeling of the acceleration starts to drop away. It's really hard to work out when or where I shouldn't change gears. Having said that, it just seems to have power everywhere. But I don't know whether that's the feeling of the torque or if that's going to translate to lap time. So I'm getting used to it, and I'm trying to work it out. Anyway, that's what it's like to drive the car. Handling wise, it feels great. It's very flat. It does jump a little bit in the rear end. We're going to try a bit more rebound damping and stuff like that. The brakes feel fine. I'm just trying to get my confidence up in the car, and yeah, try and get better at driving it. Okay, thanks.
It's been a long time since the last video was released. I'd like to apologize for this, and I know many people may have thought the series was over, but it's not done yet. I haven't been able to put up YouTube videos because I've been so stressed with work and uni. I haven't had time to keep editing videos. But now I'm finished uni for the year, and I'll be able to get back to editing videos. During the period where we've had no videos, lots of action has taken place. But don't worry, we've caught it on camera, it just hasn't been edited yet. What can you expect in the next episode? Well, we've been away racing, and Spencer and I have had our first true experience in the A580. So don't miss out in the next thrilling installment of our series. We'll see you all next time. Thanks for watching.